I've got something. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. I am Karen Cureton, social media trainer, and as part of my series of regular Monday Lives, I'm actually joined by the lovely Jenni Kravitz and her gorgeous doggy. Tell us what your dog's called, Jenni.
Poppet.
Pocket.
As in she's a real little poppet. Yeah.
She is a real little poppet. She's got a face absolutely full of character, and it is so lovely to have you with me today. So
Thank you.
let me just explain to everybody how we met. So we met through the Athena network. You and I were visiting an Athena group. So the Athena group is a professional businesswomen's network, and as an international group and a member, I can visit any Athena groups where my seat, social media trainer seat, isn't represented. So I met Jenni before Christmas now, I think it was, if I remember correctly, Jenni. We met and we were both visiting another group. And Jenni is a real inspiration because she's been running her own business for over 50 years. Her first business was a word processing bureau working with accountants, solicitors, professional services. And then she moved into computers and software, and she is just a massive fan of tech. As am I, but I'm not as clever with it, obviously, as Jenni is. So I thought what we'd talk about today is I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit more, Jenni, and talk about who you work with. But we're going to sort of just have a brief chat about technology and we'll take it from there. So Jenni, do you want to tell me a little bit more about who you work with and how you help them?
Yes, because I'm not frightened by tech, my whole career has been spent on trying to make it accessible to people who are like me and are, intelligent human beings and can act, for whom it shouldn't be rocket science, but it is, because in particular, people over 50 managed in the main to miss out on the technical revolution. They weren't forced to use it, so they were able to just step back and say, well, it's nothing to do with me. And nowadays, a lot of these same people, because they're empty nesters or they've got a reason to have a side hustle or whatever, are having to face the fact that in order to launch a solo entrepreneur business where they've got to wear every single hat, they actually can't anymore say, oh, no, I don't understand that, and wear it like a badge of honor. They've actually got to find a way of harnessing it. And the big problem that I've found is even when I'm trying to find something, there's plenty of information on YouTube. If you search around, you can find a very enthusiastic American or Australian who sits there telling you all about, oh, it does this and it does that, and isn't this wonderful? But they don't slow it down. So first of all, the biggest problem is it's not all in one place. The second problem is the people who are delivering the information say it much too quickly. And the even bigger problem than that is you have to know what you're looking for before you go searching for it. Now, I've got 50 years of experience of knowing what software programs ought to be able to do. And so whenever I teach anything, I'm teaching it from that perspective. So as an example, I've been using PowerPoint to do practically everything I ever needed to produce a leaflet or whatever. And I kept saying, no, I don't need Canva. Canva's, yeah, I've heard about it, but I don't need it. And then I sat down and started to use it, got incredibly confused because it doesn't think the same way as a standard Windows product. And eventually in August, I got to a point where I thought, I've got to actually harness this. This is ridiculous. It's not going to beat me. So I sat down for about 4 months and I made myself go through every single piece of it and documented it at the same time. But, as I said, because I know what these products ought to do, I'm looking at it from that point of view and actually making Canva work for me rather than just picking up features.
And it's not just Canva, is it? Because I'm a huge Canva fan and I use Canva pretty much every day of the week. And I've been trained to use Canva, but also I think the fact is all of our technology is updating. So In
Yeah.
fact, we were just chatting about this. I was away in London for the weekend, visiting family. We were talking about the latest incarnation of the latest iPhone update.
Yeah.
And all of these updates are happening, and we're trying to keep ahead of the curve, aren't we? And I think that's the
Absolutely.
challenge is.
Well, I'm also a huge fan of the iPhone. I don't go anywhere without it. It comes to bed with me. It goes all around the flat. I've always got it with me. And it's not because I'm taking selfies or chatting to my friends. It's because I'm actually making use of it as a mobile version of my desktop. I mean, I don't want to be tied to the office.
Yeah,
So because of that, I need to know that, and I do know that an iPhone can keep me in touch with my desktop no matter where I am. I can
yes,
get information out of it. I mean, I use ChatGPT all day, every day. Not necessarily for things that I don't know, but to just check in and say, what do you think about this?
yeah.
And when I'm writing copy, or when something isn't working, I had something the other day that wasn't working, and I just went in. It was just, I can't even remember what it was, but I went on to ChatGPT and I said, I've got one of these. It says, oh, I know. My cleaning lady wanted to make her earpods work. Somebody had given her an old set and she couldn't connect it. So she said, I know you can do it. So she basically just handed it to me. I went on to ChatGPT and I said, I've got this and this. How do I make it work? And within about 3 or 4 minutes, up and running. Well, it's lovely to have somebody like that sitting in your back pocket and you can just talk to them all day, every day.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing is, I mean, my dad's 88
Mm.
and he's a bit of a silver surfer. He loves technology,
Brilliant.
but
Yeah.
he will say exactly the same thing as you've just said. So a perfect example of this actually was he was trying to do something on his phone and he said to me, he said, how do I send photos from my phone to somebody on email? And trying to explain that to him
Oh, yeah.
was quite difficult. And I ended up recording a video on my phone to send him on WhatsApp to do
Yeah.
it. I think as business owners, this is really important. We have to embrace technology. I've got a community of trainers and coaches, a community of women in business who are oftentimes overwhelmed by social media because, like me, they
Mm.
didn't grow up the internet. But it's not just social media; it's actually technology generally, and that becomes a second. Can become what was it? I came up with a new saying the other day. Procrastination is the thief of progress. It's so true because what will happen is
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
go, I don't know what, oh, shall I do that? Shall I not do it? What am I going to do? And then you end up that you don't do anything. And that's the challenge. And I mean, how have you navigated the constant changes with iPhones? Because they're just updating you can't literally
Yeah,
can't.
you do have to. Well, first of all, you have to read what the feature is and try and understand how it can be useful, because you don't have to learn everything. They bring in some features that you're never ever going to need. But because of my wider knowledge of what software and hardware can do for me, I'm able to say, oh, wow, that's fantastic. Like, for example, they brought in something called Preview. Did you know about
Yeah,
Preview?
yeah, I've
Well,
got that
I
now.
mean, I have written a whole section, a module on how to use it. But most people would say, well, what's that got to do with me? So basically, I have to keep myself informed, and then translate it into words of one syllable and pictures for other people to follow.
Mm,
Because I feel that's my role in life. I've spent so many times, I go out to a restaurant, I'm sitting next to somebody who doesn't understand how password manager works,
yeah.
and I'm actually sitting there, making it less complicated for them and explaining them. And I thought it was about time I actually made it into a course and made some money out of it. That people just hand me their phones. Oh, can you get this working? I don't know why it's not doing this, but certainly keeping abreast of what's coming up. It
Mm,
takes some
mm.
time, and the average solo entrepreneur hasn't got the time,
We don't.
won't
We don't.
realize you won't realize the relevance anyway. So you need somebody like me to come along and say, look, when you're out of your office, there are many times that you'll receive a document by email that you need to reply to. Now you can actually use this wonderful feature called preview. You can fill in all your details, send it off, and you never
Mhm.
need to go near a printer. You can do it
Absolutely.
while you're out. You can do it around the swimming pool while you're on holiday.
And
And
that's
if yeah,
and that's what we have to do. I think it's I'm trying to eradicate the words should and would and could from
yes,
my
absolutely,
vocabulary.
yeah.
I think we have a
And the other one,
choice.
yeah.
We have a
The other
choice.
word I'm trying to get rid of is grandchildren. No, my grandson will do it for me. My son always does it.
Yeah.
No, you can do it. I will show you. It's so simple.
So,
You don't
so
have to rely on someone else.
I did
Mm,
ask you before we chatted today,
yeah.
um, what tips would you share with somebody who is maybe a little bit technically challenged? What are your favourite tips that you've got to share with us today, Jenny?
Well, I wrote down
Oh,
four for Canva, but I can give you a couple for the iPhone as well.
I think
The
iPhone
i
would be great. Yeah.
Well, with the iPhone, learn to use Password Manager. Stop inventing passwords that you then put on a piece of paper and lose.
Oh gosh,
Or
yes.
yeah, which everybody does. Password Manager is your friend. It is safe.
Mhm.
It is reliable. But the more important thing is you need to actually have a passcode on your phone that isn't just 4 digits. So
Yeah.
do not, to open the phone, no, 4 digits out of the question. It should be 10 digits and it should be a mix of alpha and numeric. It's very easy to do. But just something that you'll remember that isn't necessarily your birthday and your dog's name or whatever it is, because they're fairly, relatively easy to guess, but
Yes.
it doesn't take that much time to input it yourself. So
No.
passcode should be complicated. It should be at least 10 digits. Once you've locked that door, then whatever else you put behind that barrier, i.e., your password manager
Mm.
or your banking details, should
Mm.
be absolutely safe.
Mm.
Because that's another thing. I don't put my banking details on. There's all sorts of people. Yes, but if you stop them getting in the first place, they're safe. And if you don't feel comfortable putting your banking stuff on there, don't do it. Just
Yeah.
put something on there that allows you to walk around the streets and be able to pay for something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just have one bank account on there. Don't put too much money in it, but make sure that you can use it when you're out and about. And
Yeah.
that should make you feel safe and secure. The other thing with iPhones is always have something like always wear your headphones. Get the earbuds. They are worth every penny,
Mm.
because what you don't want to do is to walk around the street with your iPhone, waving it about and showing people you've got £1,000 worth of kit in your hand. Come and steal it from me. I mean, I don't know where you are. I don't think you're not in London, are you?
No,
But
no, I'm in the middle, in the
well,
Midlands. So
London.
I don't have we don't have the London problem, but I totally
Well,
get you.
we do.
My nephew, my in-laws most of them live in London, and my nephew's had, I think, 3 phones stolen.
Yeah, and why? Because they're standing out on the pavement, waving the phones around, inviting thieves to come and steal from them. So
Mhm.
get a pair of these earbuds. Okay, they'll cost you 100 and something pounds, but it's a
Mm.
lot less than having the trauma of having somebody steal your phone because you're walking along, inviting them to come and take it from you.
But it's also the inconvenience, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's not
Mm,
just it's the emotional upset, but it's
yes.
also, I think it's the financial and the inconvenience. It's like I remember, I think it must be like 2 years ago, my lovely husband went to work, and at the time we both had well, I had a blue phone case, he had
Mm.
black, he picked up my phone and took it to
Uh,
work. And
oh dear.
he rang me and went, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I said, "It's fine because I've got WhatsApp on my desktop. Most of my clients communicate with me through WhatsApp and
Mm.
it makes it easy." So tell me, you said you put together some Canva tips. What's your number one favorite Canva tip then?
Name everything.
Oh, I love it.
Do not just create files and photos and whatever. Give them all a name, because when you want to try and find them after the event, the fact that you've given it a logical name will be absolutely key. The other thing is learn where the home button is. The home button is right up on the top left-hand corner and it looks like a little house. Once you know
Yes.
where that is, it will help you find your way around, because you always go back to there when you want to start something new, when you want to find something old, and also when you want to see what's available. And oh, the other really important thing with Canva, if you find that you've overwritten something, you can actually get it back. There is something called a version history. And
Mm.
it means that you can go back through various different versions of what you've created and get back. So if you've overwritten it and you, oh my God, I didn't mean to do that, I've wiped out a day's worth of work, just go back through the version history and you can get the older version back.
That's brilliant. Now, I didn't know that, so that's
Oh,
brilliant.
I'm so pleased.
I've learned something new today, and
Yeah.
this is really useful. And I know that from you sharing your website with me, that you
Mm,
share even more. There's so much in your community that you have for entrepreneurs to learn about getting the most from their phone, from using Canva. So what I'm going to do is we're going to wrap up now, because I knew we'd go over time, but it's such an interesting topic.
yeah.
I'm going to pop the link in the comments under this video, and
Hmm.
obviously share it with your network, because I think this is
Definitely.
a
Yeah.
valuable service that you have, Jenny. Thank you to you and Poppet for joining us today, and have a wonderful, wonderful week. You take care of yourself.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
Jenny.
much. And thanks for
See you
seeing me.
later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.